hours waiting, 17. Oh, I guess I have to click go live there too.
That's fine. I mean, we're good.
It's good now, right?
There we go.
All right, guys. Sorry about that. I'm streaming through OBS now, which hopefully gives you guys better quality. So hopefully everything's good now. So I'll put DD back in the background and show you guys what I'm working with. This is pecan, I believe. It's roughly 3 by 3 inches, and I will go ahead and start roughing it. If you want to go through the chat again, I don't know if they heard you the first time.
I don't think so, but yeah, we can go through there. So in the chat so far today, we have Lawrence Bugasia, Shannon Duca, Raider the Woodturner, John S., Tommy's Workshop, Bill Ellis, Wood Wizardry by Colin. We have Mark at the Garden Workshop, Mark Inman, Sid's Repurposing, Seth from Brickhouse Craftworks, and it looks like that is all that's in the chat currently. And as people come in, I'll welcome them in. So good morning, everybody, and welcome.
Yeah, welcome, everybody.
Vicki Jenkinson has just joined.
Welcome, Vicki.
Says the video is freezing. I think there's a little bit of a lag, but not bad.
All right, then. Let me change some stuff.
Hopefully it won't be too awfully bad. We are trying out some new technology set up so that Hodge can stream in 1080p so you can see Harry in all of his beauty.
Yep, sorry about all this, guys. I'll try and change some stuff real quick.
No, Bill and Seth, it is there is a little jumping. We're just this is the first time trying out this new process, so
I might be...
hopefully can get this going pretty quick.
The camera will be turning off shortly. I should still be here, hopefully. It's just I have to turn it off to change these settings.
Yep, we're still here. Jappy makes his joint. Hi, Jappy. Rob from Copper Owl Woodturning has just joined. Welcome, Rob. We are modifying some camera settings, so just bear with us for a moment.
I'm not sure if I'm able to do it while it's running, but let me see if anything's better. Is it still laggy? Or...
YouTube has that little bit of a delay, so
okay, yeah.
I'll be able to tell you in just a moment. Doesn't seem to be on my end. So hopefully everybody has good plans for the weekend. Hopefully everybody's getting some decent weather. Seth just yelled out much better.
All right, that's cool.
All caps, so it's very important.
All right, so we got the blank round now. Now I'm going to make a little mark here to define the edge of the sphere. Now I've never done this before, it's just kind of what I'm thinking makes sense. So that just gives me a shoulder so that I can use this caliper that I'll size to the diameter of the piece. And now I'll mark it to be a cube.
And the earworm extraordinaire, aka Mark the Gentleman Woodturner, has joined. Hi, Mark.
Welcome, Mark. So now I've got a mark here showing where the cube will be. That will turn into the circle. I switch over to a skew to do a peeling cut.
I actually used my skew the other day a little bit, and it didn't kill me.
Daniel, if you notice any kind of lagginess, just let me know.
No, absolutely. It's looking pretty good right now. Edwin Medina has joined. Hello, Edwin.
Welcome, Edwin.
Rob CP has joined. Hi, Rob. Hi, Rob. And Doug Miller jumped in. Greetings, greetings.
So the first thing I noticed is I guess I cut this blank too long because I'm going to have this longer nub here on the left. I'll probably try cutting off part of that on the bandsaw once I try to rotate the sphere. So now I want to go ahead and mark the center of this ball, which I guess I should have done earlier. So we're sitting at about just under 2 7/8, so that would be 1 7/16.
Mark, yes, we're using the new Skype setup. So he and I are chatting through Skype, and then Robert is streaming directly through OBS at 1080p. So that's part of the reason we've had some of the minor glitching this morning with the text, just testing out the new process. But,
Yeah, I think what ended up happening, Mark, is I set the video quality too high, so my computer's kind of bogging down a little bit, so I'll have to lower the bit rate and the frames per second probably. So now I'm going to switch to like a detail gouge and knock off the corners into like more of like a 45-degree, just to generally shape the sphere.
the other thing Hodge has done here is put that little bit of a white board behind the piece, which actually absorbs a lot of the extra light, so he can have extra light on while he's working and it doesn't wash out the piece.
Yes, I've seen a few people, like Cindy Drozda, use this. This is just a piece of whiteboard, like dry erase board, that I've cut a hole and put the tool rest through. And usually they just do it because, from what I understand, just so you can get a better view on the edge of the wood. But in this case, the white of it started absorbing the light, so it didn't bleach out the wood as much. Just gonna remove more material here so I can get the tool in closer.
Mark said he's considering switching over to Mondays, after Monday's loss. Same setup, and that Pete's going to help him set it up on Tuesday.
Yeah, I gave Pete a call about a week ago to kind of get things set up. It's fairly self-explanatory getting the Skype available on OBS. There's just some audio things you have to play with.
Yeah, we did a little bit of a test last evening, and there were some minor headset issues that were going on, but once we got that figured out, it worked pretty well.
All right, so now I guess I've made some little templates here. One of them's 3 inches. It's about half of a circle, so I'm going to try to use that to gauge where I'm going. Hopefully that'll work. Otherwise, I don't know. Obviously you can see the center line is not in the center anymore, so I think I'm going to make a new one.
It's only off by a little.
I think my problem is that I'm used to doing bowls, so I'm hogging off a lot of material quick, but I have to take more gradual cuts to get that smooth sphere.
Yeah, spheres are not super easy freehand.
No. I mean, I don't plan to make a lot of these things, so I don't really...
They're going to become your new favorite.
I mean, playing with balls just doesn't sound too appealing to me.
At least not around power tools.
Yeah. I can already tell that I'm going to have to make this a lot smaller because this side is way too flat.
That's okay. That's why you got plenty of wood there to work with. So what does everybody have going on this weekend? I am doing some prep work with the shop being built on Monday, so I probably will not be able to use my lathe for a little while, but that's okay. The shop is much more important.
And do a bunch of scraping just with a skew to try to refine the edges just a hair. I mean, this seems to be a safer, more slow, methodical approach, I guess, than trying to just freehand it into a ball in one go.
Right. Rob asked if you had a template. I know you showed up that little board you have there.
This wooden one, but it's too big already because I've had to take the diameter down. So, but I think if I just reduce the diameter a little bit, that should make it a little more ball-like. At least it's looking that way to me at the moment.
Looks like Jappy is working this weekend, and then Vicky's doing some housework today and working tomorrow.
I don't think this will work on this ball, but I went ahead and made one of these ball jigs, which is, if anybody's seen the Phil Iron demos, he uses them to refine, like fully shape the ball on his little spoons he makes, which I tried making one the other day, and it kind of worked out. So I'll have to give that some more practice.
Nice. Wood Wizardry by Colin says he might turn a chunk of monkey puzzle. Bill Ellis is maybe puttering around the yard a little bit. Mark is just going to put away his shopping while we're on in the background. I told him that was acceptable this one time. And Mark is going to film a project for next week's premiere.
This Mark the Gentleman Woodturner?
Yep, Mark the Gentleman Woodturner. Sorry, forgot we had a second Mark in. I apologize.
Did you already go ahead and buy the Robert Sorby Pro Hollower that Ed was using this morning?
I'll let you know what he says. Rob with Copper Owl Woodturning says, I've been smoking a bowl I turned last night. That sounds awkward. 8 hours so far at 170 degrees. Rob, I guess it's okay if you're smoking a bowl for 8 hours. Mark Inman is trying to get in the shop to work on some bowls. Keyword is trying.
Alright, so I'm going to try
Mark the Gentleman Woodturner says he chickened out.
Let's see if this shows you more. So I'm just trying to refine. There's a ridge here that I'm trying to round over a little bit.
Doug Miller says, going to start a bowl that hope is cherry. Does that mean you hope the wood is cherry, or do you hope that when you're done with the bowl, it will be cherry? Cherry is a phrase our used car salesman said when my wife bought her new vehicle. This is just cherry, meaning it was perfect. So
I have to take off a little more on the diameter because this side of the ball is too flat.
Chappie makes us considering buying a set of the tools, says they look like they work amazingly. Mark wants you to know that the picture quality looks amazing.
Thank you, Mark. That's what I was hoping for. Is it still going smooth? There's no issues? I see like my CPU percentage is at like 67, which seems a little high to me. But...
No issues that I've seen.
Alright. I mean, I did close the Skype video, so I don't know if that has anything to do with it.
Yeah, it's just one less place to stream it.
I think I'll try reducing the frames per second back down to 30. I don't think that will make too big of a difference quality-wise.
What's your upload speed on your internet?
12 megabytes a second.
Okay.
Which, based on all the things I saw, was like plenty fast enough.
Yeah.
But the computer I'm using is technically a computer from my job that is old. Well, not old, but I've got a newer one because I do computer-aided drafting, which uses a lot of processing speed, so it's like fairly high quality. But for whatever reason, the graphics card is like kind of weird, and I'm unable to download new drivers for it.
Huh.
So I'm having to use different stuff or something. I don't know.
Yeah, Bill says it's still smooth as well, so that's good.
Alright, well, this ball is definitely not round, but maybe when I rotate it 90 degrees, I'll be able to true it up better. I've gone ahead and made a few little cup centers that I can hold the ball in. I'm just right now trying to get as much of this nubs off so that they come off easier.
Awesome. Woodturning by Barry has joined. Greetings, Barry.
Welcome, Barry.
Mark, the gentleman Woodturn, says, I've just upgraded my broadband. I now get 17 megabits per second, double what I used to get. That's great, Mark. That'll make a big difference for sure.
Yeah. I know I checked the other day if they had fiber cables or whatever in our location, but we don't have it yet. Which seems kind of ridiculous since I live in Houston.
Right. They put fiber optics down our street, actually. And so I have a hub right across the street from my house. So we're running 100 megabits per second download speed, probably about 25 upload.
That's good. So what I'm going to do here, Jesus, I'm going to put my Nova Chuck on and put in this little Chuck cup center. It's just got a little dish out here. And then I've got one that threads onto the live center. I feel kind of weird right now because when I was doing all that stuff with changing the settings, I accidentally closed my YouTube chat, so I can't see it.
Well, good, because we know what happened last time you could.
That was 2 times ago.
No, it's all good.
So, and then on the other side, I've got another one here that's got the same kind of cup, and I just tapped and threaded it with a 3/4 inch tin TPI, which is what the robust and one-way live centers have. And that just threads on.
Jeppy says that we have fiber in our area, but it still needs to be run to our complex.
I'm going to cut off this big. I'm going to go cut off this big nub here, just so it's not kind of crazy when it's flipping around. If I scream, that's because of my fingers.
Well, don't do that.
We're all good. So now I'm just going to mount this. I don't even want to call it a ball. this wood here between the cups, which that's not going to help because it's long. The diameter is bigger than it is wide, so I'm going to do it kind of off center so I can reduce the diameter.
Jappy says he's off to work a bit again as it's nearly time to go home. So thanks for coming by, Jappy. Vicky Jenkinson says, I have no idea what I have. It either works or it doesn't.
Not sure how well this is going to work. It might just come flying out. I don't want to get hit in the face with some balls.
Right.
Go back to the detail gouge, or the bowl spindle gouge. Now you can kind of, I don't know, maybe I can lower, no, that's as low as the camera can go, but you can kind of see on this top edge here, there's like a ghost line. So if you look at the dark, solid part, that's kind of what you want to turn to get that ball. I kind of talk like I know what I'm doing, but I really don't.
What better way to learn than live in front of a whole bunch of people?
Yeah. You just start putting votes on the little thing that I know what I'm doing.
Yeah. Steve with Tipple Boy Turnings has joined. Hi, Steve. Welcome.
Hello, Steve. I'm sure you've turned lots of balls. Maybe you have some tips for me.
Just the tips. He just yelled balls in all caps.
You guys.
Barry says the picture is great. So yeah, it's still streaming well. So this is good. I've done 3 eggs all freehand, of course, but they did okay. I haven't tried any spheres myself.
Yeah, for whatever reason, my turning career basically just went. First thing I turned was a pin, then a bowl, and then it's just pretty much been bowls since. I mean, I've turned like a few boxes, and I think I've turned 1 egg. Turned a lot of magic wands.
You turned that awesome lamp.
Oh yeah, that thing. The dollhouse lamp.
Yeah, that was cool. Wood Wizard by Colin just did a speed test. 48 megabits download, 16 megabits upload. That's pretty good speed.
Yeah. So, guess I'll go ahead and try to rotate it a little, but I don't think that'll really help much. Maybe I should just cut my losses and start with a new one. I think the most important thing is just getting that initial shape close enough.
Steve asks if you still have the center line marked on the sphere. I know you had it marked on there, but then it kind of got out of round because of your used to hogging off material for bowls.
Yeah, what ended up happening, Steve, is I had the center line and then I ended up cutting it too squatty, so the diameter was bigger than the width. So then I had to take down the diameter to try to make it more sphere-like. And now I'm just screwing around, really, trying to find that perfect size. If it gets small enough, I suppose I can use that hole saw thing.
Mark Inman has 28.2 megabits per second download, 11. Do you not have Google Fiber available in your area, Mark, in Kansas City? Woodturning by Barry has 100 download, 6 upload speed. Those are going to be megabits per second. Bill Ellis has to bypass his modem to test his out.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, I'm wired into our internet, but I'm only getting like 50-something download, I think. stupid AT&T probably making me need to pay for faster stuff.
Vicky's asking how everybody knows this. There's actually speed tests you can do online. I think one of them is speedtest.net.
Yeah, that's the one I used the other day. Or if you just Google, like, what's your download speed, I think the first link is a Google advertisement speed test, or like a speed test through Google.
I just put a link to it just in case anybody really cares. Mark, I figured out pretty much everything in Kansas City had Google Fiber now. It's too bad. Hopefully soon.
What is it? Elon Musk wants free Wi-Fi worldwide, I think.
I think everybody wants free Wi-Fi worldwide except the people who want you to pay for Wi-Fi.
I guess I don't know what speed that would be if it's free Wi-Fi, though. Alright, I think I'm just going to switch to a new sphere, or jig. New piece of wood, I mean. Because this one is not getting round. I mean, you can see it's got some weird spots here, and it just ended up getting too flat when I was turning it. And I shouldn't have took it out from between centers before I had reduced the diameter more. So let me go back to the point center, which I guess I could have put in the chuck, but whatever. Hopefully we can get one of these completed in an hour.
Seth said, it's incredibly frustrating to be driving while listening to Hodges live. Can't comment on all these euphemisms running through my head.
Yeah.
Vicky said she lost her internet. Mark Inman says they stopped at Interstate 35 and he is 1 mile away from that. Wow, that's unpleasant.
I got a piece of walnut up here now.
Steve says if you lose your center line, just draw a new one and start again with your new diameter.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Douglas Mungham has 22.7 megabits per second download, 19 upload. Just for fun, I'm going to test mine now while I'm streaming Hodges live, and we'll see how terrible that is. Yeah, when Google Fiber wanted to install in a city here in the United States, there were a lot of cities on the market, and Topeka actually legally changed the name of the town to Google, Kansas, for one day, trying to get them to come to here, and they didn't.
All right, got a little bit lower to go because there's some rot and stuff here.
Dr. Bob has 895 download and 158 there.
Jeez.
Yeah.
That's,
Steve Ellis is in, says 111 download, 11 upload. And hi, Dr. Bob. Thanks for joining.
all right, so it's fully round now. I'll get the calipers back out and get the diameter.
Yeah, I just tested mine. I'm up to 100, but right now I'm at 69 download and 19 upload. Mark Edmond says 40 people in our town each took 200 addresses and signed up for Google Fiber when it was free to do so. Yeah, that would be nice. Would it be easier to mark your center
That's what I just
line and
realized
then
again, that I didn't do it properly. I'll just eyeball it, whatever. I'm not too concerned with these balls.
No, I just didn't know what would be easier, so.
Probably would, I don't, yeah, I'm sure there's some kind of little jig or caliper thing you could make that would allow you to like mark both the center and the like one of those 3-point dividers or something.
Right. Mark it into thirds, and so angle off on the thirds to 45 and then start rounding from the halfway line. Douglas Mungum says he does not have fiber. Yeah, we had DSL for a while, and then they offered the AT&T Uverse fiber optics, and I jumped on board as quick as I could for the better speed since I work from home. Radar the Woodturner asks, question, do I need to sub to YouTube? Radar, I'm not sure what that means. You mean sub YouTube overall or sub each channel? What does that mean? Bill Ellis asks if I'm going to try some balls. I don't know. I might. When I get my shop built, I am hoping to do some live streaming. So, sure, why not? I have no problems making a fool of myself. My wife can attest. Probably most of you guys can too.
So I know in those polls that I've been creating, I've gotten a few people suggesting they want to see hollow forms. So I think with the new video setup and stuff, I can actually make an NDI video that'll show my monitor. So if I were to use the camera hollowing system I have, you could kind of see what I'm seeing. So I might do something like that here in the upcoming weeks. All right. So
cool. Steve T suggests measure your diameter, then mark both sides of the sphere from the center. And that gives you target marks to work with too.
Measure the diameter.
So I'm guessing measure across and around.
So I've got, what is it, through 2 3/4. And then if I go 2 3/4, so 1 3/8. Where's the eighths? I don't have to do all the math.
Math is hard.
1 3/8, so roughly there's where that ends. And then 1 3/8 there. Can't even see it on this side. All right. Get that back over. So
cut down straight with your parting tool to make your spindle nub. So I'm assuming that's from the edge line that you just drew, which will give you the firm sidewall. That's what Steve suggests is
yeah, that makes more sense.
Cutting straight down from there.
Since I just removed the line, I just put 1 3/8.
It's a good thing we have a professional ball worker like Steve on to help out.
All right. Now let's try to round that curve. That seemed to work all right. Fairly round, I'd say.
Yeah. Thanks, Steve. He just said I made the best joke ever, that he was professional. Well, like I said, professional ball worker.
Hopefully I didn't screw it up by trying to use the scraper or skew. Yeah, now it's not looking so round because I just made it more like oval. Who knew handling balls was so complicated?
Steve says, you'll find with the 3 focal points, you will see the sphere easier. No, that's good to know. I'll try and remember that if I ever decide to do this. And we're always learning. That's the important thing. That looks relatively roundish.
Does Steve have a suggestion on when it's best to rotate the thing 90 degrees?
I would bet that he does. Let's see what he says.
Because I think I'd probably end up doing it too early.
Okay, Radar, going back to his previous question, on his YouTube studio, it asks, it has the option to sub, so I will get notifications when something goes wrong. I honestly don't know on that, Radar. I have never seen that, so I honestly don't know. Douglas Mungum wants to know how big the ball is. That's what, just over 3 inches? Or just at under
Yeah, it's
3
like
inches,
2
I mean?
3/4.
Okay. Rob CP says that Steve T has a great video on turning spheres.
Yeah, I know there's all the different techniques, like using the shadow or something like that, and but I never set any of that stuff up yet, so.
I will tell everyone that with my YouTube cross-channel challenge video that was premiering tomorrow, I only watched one video to prepare for it, and I watched that a long time ago, not even realizing I was preparing for it.
Is it my video?
And all the credit on that goes to
Alright.
HodgePodge WoodWorks.
I'm just removing some of the waste on this little nub so that it's easier to take off once I rotate it.
But I will tell you that I was not disappointed that I did not have the same issues you did with yours.
Yeah, it's a huge mess. I had
So,
like a.
Steve, go
No,
ahead.
go ahead and let's see what Steve said.
He just said as soon as you think it's close to round, you can spin it so your center line is between centers, and then draw a new center line and turn off the nubs.
Okay. I'm gonna reduce this diameter some.
Dr. Bob has some words of wisdom. The day you stop learning is the day they nail the top of your coffin. I agree. Steve just said, sorry, other way around. Turn off the nubs, draw a new center line.
He's wondering about how you draw the center line on the nubs.
Very carefully. It becomes an art project. Jason Firmer has joined. He says, hi, Hodge. It would be easier with a straight skew instead of a curved skew.
I suppose. I have a smaller straight one somewhere, I think.
I have one skew, and it hates me.
I've got 1, 2, 3. I think I have 4 skews. Just because I've I'll go to my wood club's demo, and they'll have some skews laying around, and I'll be like, oh, why not?
Yeah.
All right. Let me take out the lives or drive center and get everything set back up.
I got my SKU from Blair over at Good Turn Daily. He had some extra, so he shipped me one. And I have used it a couple of times. I actually used it on a pen that I did the other day. It was the first time I'd really used it, and it turned out okay. I tried to use it last night on a quick project I was working on and promptly put it away. Scott Tag has joined, says hi, Hodge.
Welcome, Scott. We got 17 minutes. Hopefully I can get this ball rounded.
Douglas Mungham says, I watch a ball turned using a hole saw in a drill press over a lathe with the lathe spinning and the drill spinning.
Who said that?
Douglas
Oh,
Mungham.
yeah, Douglas. I went ahead and made one of these little hole saw things, but this ball I think is too. Maybe I'll try it on it once I get these nubs off. I think the ball might be too big for it though.
Steve T says, if you're using the SKU as a scraper, it doesn't matter if it's curved or straight.
All right, so go ahead and lower the speed a bit. Definitely doesn't seem true, but I'll turn off the little nubs now.
Steve Ellis is glad you've got your safety footwear on, your steel-toed flip-flops.
Add some more pressure. Yeah, it's just getting too hot now here to wear socks. Turn the speed up a little.
Doesn't seem to be too bad out around. I mean, there's a little bit of a off, but not
Definitely
bad.
better than the first one. Now the only reason I'm going from the outside, you know, from low to high is because now this ball is in bowl orientation, so going with the grain would be going from like the bottom of the bowl to the top.
Right.
I tried left-handed. Let's see where the nubs are now. Got a little bit of the nub still to go.
Golf to Actual has joined. Greetings, Golf to Actual.
Welcome, Golf.
What do you mean, what is out here? Golf.
All right. Closer.
Yeah, if you like what you're seeing, definitely mash those thumbs up, everybody. Radar, the woodturner, says he made a video of turning foosballs using a hole saw.
Turning foosballs?
Yeah.
All right.
Dude, that foosball is of the devil. I love the word foosball.
All right, so it's getting there. I think it's
Terry with TJ Turning has joined. Says hi, Robert, DD, and all. Hi, hi, Terry.
I'm gonna guess that's the middle. Let's see if I can do the scraping part again.
Golf says not what, where. Where is out here? Are you meaning like temperature-wise? Because Hodge was talking about the temperature. He's in South Texas, down by Austin.
No, Houston.
Houston, sorry.
No problem.
Steve T says, you're doing great. Just a matter of taking away shadows. Always drew a new line each time you spin so you don't lose your size. Jason Firmer says it is easier to turn a round shape with a straight edge tool than a round edge tool.
Well, let's see. I don't know if this gouge or not gouge. This is kind of curved too. I guess all my skews are kind of curved. I took a class with Alan Lacer once, and he is in favor of the curved, or like the half curved skews. So.
Seth said, Hodge said it was too hot out here. I just scrolled back up. Yeah, so Hodge is in Houston, Texas, where it's pretty warm already, and he's working out in his garage, so it's still pretty warm. Bill Ellis asked if that's still part of the U.S., Hodge.
Yeah. For now.
Who knows what'll happen? People are weird. Sorry, golf to actual.
Okay, so getting a little better. I think there's a little more I can take off, and then if I rotate it 45 degrees, I think there's a high spot over here that's closer to this little circle chuck, whatever you call that.
What is that circle mark? Is that just leftover that's sunk in a little bit?
Here, or on the other side, I guess. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just still, it's a little high where
Okay.
the nub was. I guess part of where the parting tool was.
Gotcha. Radar says his uncle lives in Houston.
That's cool. Alright, I'm going to call that good enough. I'm going to take a little bit off the middle where the pencil line is, just because there's like a ridge.
Dr. Bob says, when I was just a little shaving in the late 40s, I watched my great-great-grandfather use a sharpened steel pipe to finish the final shape of ball foot on chair legs for his Masonic temple chairs. Wow, that would be
I've
cool.
seen that on some YouTube channel. Maybe it was like one of those Japanese turners. They just used like a sharpened iron pipe. I mean, it's essentially the same as the hole saw idea.
Right.
That
Vicky,
definitely looks out of wobbly. I don't know if that's because of the ball or it's just not centered in this cup chuck.
Vicky says, roll it on the table to see if it's round.
Yeah, it's definitely not round yet.
Rob CP says, it's amazing to see how many different methods there are to turn spheres. I've only tried one way so far. Well, that's one more way than I have, Rob.
I don't think this is any particular method. It's just like probably the stupid way to do it without using any kind of, I mean, my template's too big now, so that doesn't help.
That's pretty close, though, especially for only your second one you've ever done.
I suppose so.
Seth, plot twist. Hodge is actually Radar's uncle.
I don't think so.
Steve T is turning some multi-axis stacked donuts.
So those stacked barrels that he turned, those are pretty cool.
Yeah.
See, I've never turned anything off axis yet.
I have. That's actually my most watched video on my channel, and I'm shocked by that. Douglas Mungum says the best way to turn spheres is to get someone else to do them.
Or just spend a couple $100 for the sphere jig.
And then turn two of them.
Yeah.
Best use of money ever.
Alright, so I'll put it to a vote. Do you guys want me to sand it, or should I try using this thing, which I think might be? No, that's just gonna catch. It's too big. So I'll go ahead and do some sanding, I suppose.
Radar, in reference to Seth's comment, he is too skinny. LOL. You are too skinny to be Radar's uncle.
Go ahead and put it in reverse.
Vicky is asking, did you plan to turn 2, or was the first one a bust? I think he had 2 or 3 ready to go.
Yeah,
depending.
I had 3 blanks cut up, and the first one was just kind of a disaster. And I didn't know how fast this would go or not, so. But I guess it would have been good if I could have got a pair of balls.
Doug Miller asks, does 201/9 sound right? I apologize. I'm not quite sure what you're meaning by that, Doug. Douglas Mungum says, there are some YouTube videos showing how to make a jig yourself. Yeah, I literally just don't have time or anything right now to do that, especially with the shop build coming up.
Yeah, I've got a lot of other jigs that I feel like I need to make. Hey Daniel, is my volume too high? Like my talking?
No, it sounds fine.
Okay.
Maybe a little quiet actually, but it's not bad.
Alright, I just saw that my little decibel thing was going into the red for whatever reason.
Maybe your dust collector's picking up a little bit, but I don't hear much.
Okay.
So, Doug Miller says for internet speed, if you're getting 201 down, I would expect you to get a little bit faster than 9 upload, Doug. So that sounds a little off, but I mean, I don't know what your internet service provider is or what their settings are on that. Rob CP cheated. He said, I did 6 spheres as practice before I did it live. It's not really cheating, but
yeah,
just giving you a hard time, buddy.
I think that's just the normal thing to do, Rob.
We don't do anything normal.
I think what I'll end up doing is I'll leave most of the options the same on my pole, and then I'll just replace this one with something else. So that way, you know, everything will eventually get done.
Seth says one of them is a little lopsided, like normal.
Yeah, not all balls are perfectly round, you know?
Right. Lawrence Brigadier says, Rob CP, for multi-axis, learn Oliver Twist of Charles Dickens. Sounds complicated.
Alright, I'll call that good for now, except for this one spot. I don't know. I can always sand it later. I'll try to get one to where I actually finish it, or put finish on it. I can always sand this later and get it better round, just so I have a finished ball, a polished one.
You want to finish your balls off camera then?
Maybe.
Bill Ellis asks, what's that strange sticker on Hodge's lathe? That's for Thompson lathes, Bill.
Or is he talking about this one down here?
I don't know. That guy's probably crazy. Rob CP, I don't normally practice what I do live for the first time, but I was too concerned with how slow I am, so I practiced the spheres. Rob, you're only you're only a little bit slow once in a while, but you're still trying to learn and get a lot of feedback. So there's nothing wrong with that. Besides, your French is immaculate.
He doesn't really speak French too often anymore. Kind of disappointing. Alright, so I'll go to 220 grit.
Douglas Bungham. You could really cheat and buy some, then put them in the cup clamps and say, here's one I did earlier. Yeah, if I were the cheating type of person. Yeah, Bill Ellis confirmed that that bottom sticker was the one. Yeah, that guy's sketchy at best, so stay clear of that guy. He's bald and gangly and yeah, just weird. I wonder if it would help if you put in, like, glued a little bit of the non-stick fabric into those.
Into the little,
Just to
these
keep them
things.
from potentially marking the sphere.
Yeah, I was going to eventually do that. I think I turned these out of like pine, so they're really soft.
Gotcha.
But this one's wobbly for whatever reason. So I don't think it's really...
And Dave with Webfoot Resin Wood Creations has joined. Hi, Dave. Welcome.
Dave.
I said Dave. He might prefer David. Either, just please let me know if you prefer David. I like, work-wise, I've always gone by Daniel. Of course, all my friends know me as Double D, but everybody at work just immediately started calling me Dan, which isn't the end of the world, but it's just weird now at my new job that everybody's calling me Dan instead of Daniel.
Yeah, some people will call me Bob for whatever reason, but what the hell. I'm going to go ahead and put some abrasive paste, Axe abrasive paste on it, just to see how it looks when it's all polished up. Kind of looks like a ball of chocolate.
Yeah. Like one of those Lindt chocolate balls or whatever.
Yeah.
Lindt.
Yep. Or a giant Whopper, I guess.
Right. That's like the jawbreaker to end all jawbreakers.
Try to rotate it to get it on these little spots.
He said he answers to both. Okay. I just didn't want to be calling you something you did not prefer, so I just figure I like to double check. Bill, they always call me Bob, but they spell it with 2 O's. It's only a little bit awkward. Rob with Copper Owl says Axe is good ball polish. Yeah, I liked using Axe's abrasive paste when I've used it in their polish on projects. I've not had any problem with that. I just use Brad's now because Brad and I are friends and supporting his business and he's growing, but good products. I have no complaints.
Of the restoration paste and polish. You can see there's some chatoyance going on here. It's a good thing with walnut.
Douglas Mungham says it looks like a chocolate orange.
Yeah, it's a better size than like a Whopper.
What are those smaller oranges? Not quite Mandarin. Full orange size. Yeah.
Or the...
Maybe.
What do they call them? Cuties.
My wife could... Yeah, that's it. My wife could tell me right away because she loves them.
I think the cuties are Mandarin oranges, like the brand name, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't eat them. They're too, I don't know, orange.
I don't really like oranges too much, but like the orange solid part. So if I eat one, I'll just like bite it and, squeeze all the juice out and then throw away the skin stuff or the
Right.
pulp. I don't know anybody. There's no reason to have pulp in orange juice, especially.
Yeah, that's disgusting to
All
me.
right, so I'm gonna call this done as far as a ball goes.
Yeah, Scott Tegg says malted milk ball. Yeah,
So
like a Whopper.
yeah, let me change the camera down a little bit. I'm sure this isn't gonna roll straight, but just for fun. Clear some stuff off. Put the ball.
Douglas Among 'em is asking if GT85 okay as a PTFE lube.
I don't know.
I do not know the answer to that. Rob with Copper Owl Woodturning says Halo Cuties Clementines. Yeah, those are all good ones. Yep.
So there's the ball. Try to get it in focus better.
It was around a little.
It's a little unround,
Steve says great job.
but that's where we are. Let me grab this.
That's what you do is you paint that like a cue ball and you put that out when your opponents are getting ready to hit so it doesn't go
But
straight.
this is one of the balls I turned the other day where I used this little thing, so it's like, you know, looks perfectly round. But I'm gonna go try some of those little spoons that like Phil Irons demonstrated. But it's pretty cool the way it works. I'll do that on a live one of these days. I still have to make the jig for to hold the spoon, and then some kind of little sanding mandrel, I guess. But that's all I've got for today. Sorry you guys didn't see Harry too much. He was down there on the bed lathe.
Doug Miller says it looks great from his house. I say the
Thank you, Doug.
same thing, Doug. When I was helping build my in-laws' house, I literally, no matter what we did, I said looks good from my house. So.
Yep, so.
All right. Hope everybody has a
Harry's
great
happy
rest of
about
your
it.
weekend. Yeah.
But yep. Hope you guys. I think Mike Walt might be on later today. I'm not sure. But if so, I'll probably see y'all in the chat. So I'll see you guys later. Thank you.